Alright, this last video on area is how to find the area of a triangle. When you're working with triangles, it's very similar to parallelograms, except I want you to think that a triangle is smaller than a parallelogram, no matter what the case is. And when we cut it in half, we have to divide by 2. So the way we're going to write our formula is just like with parallelograms, we now changed our length and width to base and height. They're the same thing, just different terms. So I'm going to write base times height over 2, or divided by 2. So you need to remember the formula, base times height divided by 2. And that's how we're going to solve area for triangles. I'm going to go ahead and erase this formula. I'm going to write it off to the side a little bit smaller so I can show some examples. Base times height divided by 2. Alright, let's go ahead and draw a triangle. Let's start with an easier one, and let's start with a right angle, or a right triangle, excuse me. Maybe it could look just like this. And let's say that we have 3 different numbers, and they're giving us 3 different side lengths. Maybe I have 4 feet here, I have 2 feet here, and I have 4 feet here. Alright. Okay, so when you're doing base times height, you already know your base. Your base is your bottom number. Just like the base of your house or the floor of your house, that's going to be the bottom part that you walk on. So you know the base is the bottom, so this number is going to be the base because it's the bottom number, and it's representing the foundation of this triangle, the bottom, the base. So I can replace my base with a 4. Now all I have to do is find my height. And I have 2 numbers that are left. Well, I have this line that's going here, this side, or I have this side that's going here. And I know my height is going straight up and down. Just again, like when you go and you measure yourself, you stand straight up and down, and that tells you your height. Well, this number here will not tell me my height because this is representing this line here, and it is diagonal. It will not give you an accurate measurement of height. So I know that I want to go with this number here. This is going to be my height because it is going with this line here that is straight up and down. So I can now replace my h with a 2. And I just replaced my my base with a 4, my height with a 2, and then now I have to write that over 2. 4 times 2 over 2, or 4 times 2 divided by 2. So if I know that's my formula, I can go ahead and erase all of this and make some more room for myself. And I can go down and I can write 4 times 2 over 2, which we know is the same thing as 8 over 2. And I got that because I took my 4 and I multiplied it by my 2, and that gives me 8. Once again, you can go back to fractions and how we used to do this. As you can see, this is an improper fraction. Why? Because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Look at this numerator. This number here is an 8. And look at this denominator. This is a 2. It's an improper fraction. And once again, we said that if we're ever left with an improper fraction, we have to change it to a mixed number. Well, that means taking the numerator inside as your dividend, inside your division box, and your denominator outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my numerator inside the division box, which would be an 8, and my denominator on the outside, which would be 2. And I know that 8 divided by 2 off the top of my head is 4, because you would be left with nothing. Therefore, I know that my answer to the area of this triangle would be 4 feet squared.